Okay, let's just open this one then. But it seems to be like a bit lack of screenshots here. No, maybe this is fine. Yeah, there's a lot of things actually happened in X40. Like we were actually kinda lucky to get world first in X40 for a few reasons. First of all, like I said, I took a break after AQ40 to play a lot of Dota. And I was playing in like a really good team called Clan Q, which was one of the best teams in the world. That's the reason I didn't play WoW a lot. But the Nax release had a really bad timing. Like I love football, aka soccer, that Americans call it. And the second Nax came out, it was the World Cup in football. And I decided to watch the World Cup instead of playing X40. So I didn't join the raids the first 2 weeks. So I was not in the raids for the first 2 weeks in X40. And our guild, that was the best guild in the world after AQ40, were actually, it was going really bad for them. They weren't even the best guild at the server at the time. I think they were like behind some guild on the server, but it was going really bad at least. But eventually I came back, blah blah blah. We were really behind. We weren't like doing as good as I had hoped for at all. But I came back after like 2-3 weeks, and then we actually started killing bosses again. But yeah, let's check some screenshots before I continue with that story. The guild had, like, we had probably lost a lot of members and stuff as well during my longer break. So the guild was not as good as it was in AQ40. Did we do Nax 40 here as well? No. This was kind of, yeah, you can see Crowley, like I just came back here, like you can see Crowley, he was the one that was raid leading when I was gone. So I just came back like right here I think, and he was like explaining the bosses instead of me because they had already been like doing attempts and shit. But on this screenshot, this is way further ahead though. Here we seem to have a good guild here. Anyway, later on, we were very lucky in X40. Like we were struggling a lot on a boss called Thaddeus. I think we wiped on Thaddeus for 3 weeks. I'm sure many people had the same problem, but we had so many guilds on our server that were good. There was probably like 5 to 10 guilds in X40 at the same time. And this boss Thaddeus, he was like, there was something wrong with the boss, and he always made the whole server lag. Like everyone, or at least in Nax, everyone in Nax would lag like crazy. So every day we raided this boss, we were playing in fucking slow motion. Like we would always lag, and that's why we could not fucking ever kill him because of the lag. The server would even crash and shit. Like we were struggling so hard with that boss. I'm not sure if it happened to other people as well, but it was crazy lag. Like when it was prime time, you couldn't raid. So we actually tried to raid like after midnight instead of raiding during the days, but it didn't really work either. But 3 weeks later, we did kill that boss, and I think it was around when we killed that boss, we got really lucky. A really good guild on some other server. I don't remember what server. I'm sure some people in the guild remembers. But a really good guild that had like 10, 12 members that joined our guild. They moved server to join us. And all the guys that joined us was actually really good. They were like legit super good. They were better than most of our players even. Or like they were better than our average players. So we got like 10, 12 really good members just like that. And when those guys joined the guild, we became really good. And that's when we started to catch up to Death and Taxes. Like the second they joined, our raid became so good. We were super fucking strong at that time. We were just raping everything basically. It was a really big difference from before. Because we always had like a lot of weak links, but after they joined, like we had very few weak links after that. Weak links in the raid after that. Let me see if they are in the... I don't think they are in the raid here. No, not yet. Not yet. So at this point we were bad. Man, this raid was so good, I swear to God. Like, Nax 40 was like perfection of Blizzard. Every wing was perfect, every boss was perfect. There was zero bugs, everything was just perfect more or less, besides the lag on Thaddeus. There was very small, there was almost no issues at all. And all the bosses had like really complex abilities. It was just the perfect place, basically. And I'm sure everyone feels the same way that actually raided Nax 40. It was just so fucking good, man. And as you can see, hunters and warlocks were really bad. We only have one warlock in the raid and 3 hunters, and you usually wanted hunters to like trank shot, and the warlock was for soul stalls, and it was mostly because they did really bad damage. You just had them to pick up some loots. You can see that the warlock is kind of high on damage here, but I think this boss was an exception, and he also had really good gear because he was the only one getting warlock gear, so he was super geared. I'll just show a bunch of screenshots here. Man, all these bosses were so good. Like, it actually took like a legit time to kill most bosses. This boss was a fucking pain in the... See, you needed hunters here. They had the trank shot, right? That was like their only purpose to be in the raid, more or less. Oh, here he is. This is the lag boss. This is the boss that really fucked with us as a guild. Our guild was really depressed on this boss because we just couldn't raid at all. Yeah, soon is up. Yeah, soon. Jag kommer snart. And like, the boss was actually never that hard. It was just the lag that made it so hard to kill. We even wiped twice at 1% before we killed the boss, and it was the same rogue that actually fucked up. And I think we kicked him after that as well, or shortly after that. And he was named Tira. Tira, I still remember. Still remember, man. Oh yeah, this boss was fun. Like, to reach the boss, you actually had to jump, and we had some noobs in the guild that would fail that jump. I remember that. Man, I don't want to see these sad 1% wipes here. Is that a 1? 11% wipe. 6%. I promise, we wiped on this boss so long, it was crazy. Here you can see a 1%. 1% wipe again, you can see here. Fucking Tira again. How is it possible? It was like the same guy. If you fucked up on this boss, you would basically kill the whole raid, if you know how the boss works. And it was the same guy that wiped us twice at 1%. It was pretty disgusting. Especially since we had struggled for so long. And I don't think... After those 2% wipes, it took us like another week or even longer to kill him, so it was pretty sad. Man, this boss was really fun. Patchwork. Good old memories from him. Direct. Yeah, maybe he was just trolling us, you never know, right? I think we were even... This is during Nax 40 times, I think. I guess we went to AQ 40 to farm more gear. Yeah. Like, even in Nax 40, I think we still farmed BVL and AQ 40, because everyone still didn't have like full epic gear, you know? But one thing that was like the chain that is not the same anymore. You actually, you actually had to spend a lot of time farming pots because you popped so many potions always. Like it was really expensive. Like you couldn't afford to keep up with the raiding unless you put in a lot of effort farming as well. So what we did in our guild, like every time we raided, you see we have a full raid of 40 people. The people that weren't in the raid, they were forced to farm potions for the people in the raid. Otherwise they wouldn't get DKP. So we always had like 20 people outside the raid, just farming for the people in the raid all the time. It was pretty nice. Obviously you still had to do your own farming, because I mean they couldn't farm for everyone, but it did help out a lot. Oh yeah, I think this is the time. This is the time. Wait, let me see. Yeah, this is the only this is the time I got ganked in WoW. I think this was the only time I got ganked in PvP. And the guy was actually on my stream the other day. Like a few days ago, this guy was on my stream. It was Sidane, this guy. Sidane, he killed me. Like there was a guy in my stream, and he said like, "Oh, Kungen, I ganked you in X40," and I said, "No one has ever killed me in WoW." That's what I said, because it only happened once. But then I said, "Oh, but actually, one time there was a warlock that did kill me outside Nax with his whole guild, of course. Of course, with his whole guild. But it was actually that guy, Sidane. And there was a video on YouTube as well. But it was actually the only time I died outside raiding. Not kidding. You will never find another screenshot of me dead or anything, because it only happened once during vanilla. But that was the hero, Sidane the warlock. He got the killing blow, I think.
Jag ser dig. Ja, jag ser dig. Det tjockes.
I wonder if we had world buffs here. No, I don't think so. No, we didn't. Good. Oh man, this boss was so much fun. Holy shit. This was like one of the most fun bosses. The only struggle was that it was really annoying, yeah, because it was very easy to fuck up. We had a lot of noobs failing the dance all the time. So Dane is here. It's Grinks. You modded him for that. Oh yeah, what's up? Hello, bro. Yeah, I actually gave him mod because he was the one guy that killed me. Well played, bro. Well played. Yeah. And they should make more bosses like that. That was really fun. I'm pretty sure we skipped this boss. This boss was impossible to kill. I'll get to him later. But you needed world buffs to kill this buff. He was too overtuned to actually be killed. So all the bosses skipped this boss. Even the 4 horsemen were easier than that boss, because he was just unkillable at the time, basically. Oh, and this boss was also very brutal. I'm sure people in chat remember this boss. Very few guilds actually killed this boss. Gothic the Harvester, right? Yeah. This boss was crazily hard tuned as well. You had to split up on 2 sides, but the boss was just tuned hard. Like, there would spawn so many mobs that it was really hard to keep everything tanked and to keep everything down, basically. But this was the boss where like most of the non-top guilds got stuck. Like very many people were stuck on this for months and months, I think. Grinks the real Kingslayer. We obviously had to spend a lot of time on this boss as well, but he went down, luckily. One thing that we were very lucky with, we actually had, as you can see, we actually had a lot of warriors. We had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. We already had 8 warriors before we got those extra people from that other guild, which helped us a lot when we were doing the 4 horsemen and stuff.
Yes, cows many. Cows many.
I got a $2 donation from Anonymous. It says, "Can we please have an eating break soon? Can't leave this stream." Yeah, I actually have to go eat now. So let's have a little bit of a food break soon.
Yes, cows money. Cows money.
I got a $15 donation from Hydracell. It says, "I remember on my first server, Ravencrest, the best guilds, they were so respected, people didn't gank them. It was like a basic rule. DPS was underestimated in the start. Did you see them?" DPS warriors? I mean, when I farmed and when I played, I always played DPS warrior. I was only tanking in raids. Like when I was farming and running around, I was always playing a warrior. In the beginning of WoW, World of Warcraft, warriors was the worst PvP class. But that's just what people thought. Like, I thought, like, let me explain this properly. The reason, like, when I started playing WoW, I played on the US servers as a shaman, right? And the only reason I played World of Warcraft was the PvP, and that's why I made a shaman, because shamans were OP in PvP. And I have loads of screenshots of me PvPing on my shaman. You'll see them later, maybe. So I only played WoW to PvP actually, because I came from Lineage 2, which was also a PvP MMO. So I didn't even care about the PvE. However, at one point, like the PvP in early WoW was so useless. You didn't gain anything. You didn't gain gear. You didn't even gain honor. You gained nothing. So PvP was, besides being fun, it was useless. So instead, I started to do PvE at one point. But the reason I rolled warrior was because I played a shaman on the US server, right? And if you played a shaman, you know how OP shamans were. Shamans was like they were the most OP PvP class ever. You could, if you had a two-handed weapon, you could do one swing on a priest or a mage, and if you procced Wind Fury, they just died. And on top of that, you had heals, spells, like they were like godlike. And I got so bored of playing shaman because it was so easy to kill everyone. You could even kill 2-3 people alone. Like shamans were ridiculous. So I actually played warrior because it was the worst PvP class at the time. I wanted a challenge because it was so boring to PvP as a shaman. But however, if you were smart and had the right potions, warriors were actually very, very good in PvP. Like I always had these on me. Let's see if I have them here somewhere. Yeah, these. You see these here? Like free action potions. And so every time like someone would try to kill me or whatever, like a caster, you know, you just pop like a free action potions and then you would rape everyone as a warrior. And what the potion did was it made you immune to slows and roots and everything. So imagine trying to kill a warrior that has a hamstring on you that you cannot slow or root or anything. You just die, right? So if you played a warrior and you came prepared, they were actually godlike, and that's why I basically never died, because, you know, with the right preparations, warriors were basically unstoppable in PvP. And I would always have free action potions, swiftness potions, invis potions, and all that. Even these as well. What are these? I think those are like insta break a stun potion or something like that. But I would always have all potions, all the whip roots, potions. Like I always were max prepared, and that's like one of the reasons I never died. Even invis potions were always in my inventory. Now I was actually out, but I always had those usually as well. Free action potion was just broken. Yeah. I also had those. You could have these nets, right? There was like a right-click net that could root people. So as a warrior, I could also root people if I wanted to, which made warrior even more OP in PvP. Plus, if you had raiding gear, you were very strong from that as well. So, even though I choose warrior because it was the worst PvP class, it kinda ended up being the strongest one after shaman. I think shaman was still the best, possibly. Maybe not against warrior, but like overall they were very strong against other classes. But I need to take a little bit of a food break now. Oh yeah, actually the first time we killed Gothic the Harvest, the door closed. And we couldn't get the loot, so GM had to give us the loot. But I need to take a little bit of a food break. I'll be back soon. Issa is mad. Issa, you mad, bro? Food break then. Issa ain't mad. I can play a kill video meanwhile. Yeah, let's do that. What should we show? Okay, since we're in Axe, I'll play an Axe video. I'll be back when this video ends, basically. Be right back, bros. And it became like a thing that we raided for Justin. So like every time we charged a boss, I would shout for Justin, and everyone would do the same, and we would just charge in. It became a troll thing. It's pretty funny. We had a similar thing in EverQuest, so we would raid for something else. Rat. I remember in my guild in EverQuest had a rat, and we were raiding for that rat. It wasn't Mr. Bigglesworth, it was someone else. Guys, it's still the biggest club. Wait, is that the music? Or is this one? Muhahanjalala? Maybe. Wait, let me go in here. For Justin! I don't remember the name of the rat. Fuck, what was the name on the rap? I can't remember. Sadly, I don't have any EverQuest screenshots. I lost them all. I like the GMs. It was nice running around in Axe anyway, investigating the issue. That was cool, smiley. GMs were much cooler back in the days.
Yes, cows many. Cows many.
I got a $3 donation from Sexyback. Why was Thunder Fury used so much even after 60? Why was it so good? It wasn't about the damage it did, but it had a proc that would slow down the bosses, basically like Thunderclap. But if you had Thunder Fury, you didn't really have to use Thunderclap. So it would slow the boss all the time. If someone had a Thunder Fury, the boss was perma-slowed, and it also gave a lot of aggro. Since the proc slowed the boss and did damage, it gave a lot of threat. So if a warrior had Thunder Fury, it was impossible to lose aggro or anything similar like that. And it actually did good damage on the tank as well, because of the proc. So basically all because of the proc. It was very powerful. Aggro, damage, and the slow. And back in the days, it was the best damage item in the game as well. But I was even using it in TBC. For a long time in TBC, I was still actually using it. Oh fuck! Did I actually just do that? I accidentally removed that shit. Breath of the Lich King screenshot, never seen on stream. Oh, I should have a bunch. I should have a bunch for sure. Not as many as I do from back in the days though. Okay, I think. Where was I? Here somewhere maybe. There I got ganked. Okay, here. But soon, let me check the raid out now. Yeah, soon. No, we didn't get the people in yet. We didn't get the people in it. Wait, I'm gonna let in the little doggy to Issa's room. He wants to hang with the Issadin instead of me. I'm not as fun, sadly. Did you do any theory crafting while you were a hardcore raider? Or if somebody knows from chat. I did loads, but it depends on what you mean by theory crafting. Like when when we weren't raiding, I was preparing strats for the bosses and stuff like that. So yes. So the answer is yes. You'll probably see a lot of screenshots like that. I usually, when we didn't raid, I would usually run around in Axe and like look at the room where we're gonna fight in, try to figure out where would be the best way, like, you know, the best way to kill the boss, where the raid should be, where the tanks should be, and all stuff like that. Since I actually did, I did all the strategy by myself. I didn't even listen to other people actually. All strategy was just down to me. Obviously people found out stuff and like PM'd me something like this ability does this, but I would always do all the tactics for the guild. And that's also probably one of the reasons why the guild did not work that well when I wasn't raiding, since I was always the one that had made the tactics. So I guess we didn't have anyone else that were used to doing these kind of things. Someone here. There was a warrior. Yeah, I saw him in all the... You see this guy, Dysentery? He joined. I didn't recognize this name on all the screenshots, and now I was wondering who the fuck that was. And here there's a PM, and I would love you to answer me so I can explain the situation, since it looks like you got the feeling I'm eBayed, as I'm not. Yeah, I think we recruited that guy, and he had really good gear, but he didn't play good enough for the gear he had. So maybe I thought he was eBayed because he wasn't like playing as good as he should have with all that gear. Because you don't just, like back in the days, if you had good gear, you were in a good guild and stuff like that. Or maybe he got eBayed in the middle of the raiding as well, I don't know. Oh, we were actually doing tries on Loatheb here. Man, it feels so weird because like I played Hearthstone and stuff, and you play the fucking Loatheb card all the time in Hearthstone. And sometimes when I play Hearthstone, I don't even realize that like most of the legendaries are raid bosses in WoW, because you know it's another game and all that. It feels weird that like we've been raiding Loatheb for so many times. Armor 10,000. Exactly. Yeah, stuff like this. This is what I'm talking about. So the raiding is over here, right? The raiding is over. but I'm doing all these things by myself. Look, I'm here alone tanking the boss over and over because I'm checking out exact, like on this boss for example, every healer could only heal once. So every healer could only cast one heal, right? And then you had to take something to throw another heal. So I had to figure out exactly how much healing I would need on the boss. So I was always running in, like trying to solo tank him over and over, like checking how much I dodged and how much damage I took overall and like stuff like that to figure out exactly how much healing I would need later on. That's why I have these weird screenshots of me being all alone in the zone. I mean, I would have liked to raid, but you know, everyone could not play as much as I did. And back in the days, I was kind of harsh when I played WoW, as you can see here. Oh wait, can you read it? It looks like it's like a little bit blocked. Maybe it's easier like that. That might have been a little bit too much though, but it worked. Kind of. He had probably been a bit rude as well. I mean, that's why I was like a little bit extra rude. He was probably rude back at some point. It's just not in the screenshot. I don't think he was completely innocent in this situation. That's all. Oh, and here's the farm raid stuff. As you can see, everyone in farm raid send me a tell now. And the reason I did things like this was because if people wanted to get DKP, they had to farm for the people in the raid, right? But I mean, how would I know they were farming? So I would check if they were actually farming and not AFK. And if they had to have a food break or go AFK, they had to PM me that they would go AFK. Otherwise, you know, they wouldn't get DKP. But that's what you gotta do, man. If you want world first, people cannot slack. It's a team effort, even if you're not in the raid. Since we needed people outside to like help us out, you know. I don't know. There's probably a lot of inside jokes and shit on the screenshots that people won't understand. Ooh, frost resist gear. Yeah, you needed to craft full frost resist gear on at least the tanks on Was it everyone in the guild? Or was it only tanks? It might have been everyone actually on Saffron, I don't remember. It was the second last boss in Nax. We still have our shitty raid here. I wonder when we got those new guys I talked about. It seems they came at the very end actually. Since we have been killing a lot of bosses here already. Oh, did we kill him here? No, that's not a kill, sadly. But if you check the damage meter, it's only 3 classes that did good damage: mages, warriors, and rogues. The game got a lot more balanced in TBC. Then they introduced DPS for other classes like Shadow Priest, Feral Druids, and stuff like that. It didn't really work before TBC. It was everyone for Saf. Yeah, okay, everyone. Cool. It should be everyone since it was like perma AoE damage, I think. Oh yeah. We got it. We got it. Still not with the new guys though. When the fuck did they join then? I guess they joined us for Saffron and Kel'Thuzad or something. I don't know. I didn't realize we killed this much without them. Maybe they didn't impact as much as I thought they did then. Look at the warlock damage. Look at the. It was always like this. Like the hunters and the warlocks were always 20 to like, you know, and the tanks were always at the bottom. Kind of weird raid setup, like a million mages and rogues. Do you have some Croatia people in the guild in Vanilla? I think Suk. No, he joined in TBC. I'm not sure. We had some. Where was Crowley from? Crowley was Croatian, I think. Crowley might have been Croatian, actually. What the fuck is this? That's some random raid, I think. Oh, they have actually joined here. Let me see. Yeah, exactly. These are all the new guys I talked about. I guess they joined right here when we were progressing on 4 horsemen and we had Saffron and Kel'Thuzad left. Let me check one thing. Did we have world buffs on? Yeah, that's what I thought. The thing is, like, Lotheb, it wasn't a hard boss himself. He was not, like, it was a kind of simple boss. The thing was, he was impossible unless you would use world buffs, which we always had when we kill him. So I think these are practice tries, possibly. We actually got him kind of low, or maybe I have already died, I don't know, because I don't have world buffs here, as you can see. But on the kill, we popped all the world buffs here. We have Hakar buff, Onyxia buff, Flask, Dire Maul buffs. No, I don't think I have Dire Maul buffs, right? But at least you needed like some world buffs to do enough damage to kill him before it was a wipe, since you couldn't heal as much as you wanted. But all the new, like I said before, there was like 10 or around that amount of really good members that joined our guild, and one is what Pen. We got Pen, really good DPS. Where all these people actually left us before TBC. They joined the guild, helped us get world first, and then they left, which was a bit weird, but yeah. So it was Pen, really good DPS warrior, and this warrior Nico was actually really good. He was really good. I think he actually taught me he taught me something about the warrior that I didn't know, but I only didn't know it because I had been away for like 7 months before Nax. But I don't remember what it was, but it was something he told me that I was like, oh, really? Who else was it that joined? Maybe Arkanset, I don't remember exactly. I don't think we used all their guys all the time though, but it was a bunch of good ones. Probably one of these rogues here, maybe Downfall or something, I don't know. Maybe Gothica as well. Maybe more Danzibel, not sure. Maybe the Warlock. Maybe it wasn't 10, but it was like a good amount to make our raid a lot stronger at least. I usually took breaks to play Dota. I was very into Dota 1 at the time. Dota 1 was the fucking shizzle, man. I'm just reading the the tells to see if it's anything cool here. I'll read chat a little bit more if people have questions as well. Don't forget Pollywood mid, always ulti. Always ulti to get kills instead of push douchebag. Of course. Man, I remember in Heroes of New Earth when I played Polywog, I had such a good run. I think I won like 31 games in a row or something with Poly mid. Poly mid was the fucking shizzle, man. Let's see how good those new guys actually were on the damage meter. Well, maybe they weren't as good as I remember, because Pen is number 13 here. But I mean, even if you get like 5 new members that are pretty good, it helps out your raid a lot. for sure. Some of my memories are a bit cloudy since, you know, it was a very long time ago. Why can't I go to the side? Oh, it ended. It ended. Nunax. Okay, I think. Oh, and here is the same. Like, this is the boss. Every guild, like every top guild, struggled so hard on this boss, and I was just trying to figure out tactics here. I guess just taking some screenshots of the room to make like a picture for strats. I always made our. I don't think I have any pictures left. Maybe someone can find any. I always made these. I always made our tactical pictures in paint, and they were not pretty. Like, you could understand what I meant, but my strategy pictures, you will laugh your ass off when you see them. Because I can imagine in most other top guilds they probably had someone that were good at fucking, you know, some fucking art program, and they made these really gorgeous pictures. But I just made them like handmade in paint. Like, my strategy pictures of Lady Vash and shit, it looked like a fucking hamburger basically. It usually looked like something. It was weird as shit. And I don't paint very good. Oh, I remember this. You could make yourself really fucking big with like some buff and potion or something. Look at that mount size. What the fuck? Look at the other torrents. We're back in AQ40. Oh yeah, here's Hygen tries, I guess. Oh look, okay, I guess the pen guy was pretty good. That's what I thought. That's what I remember. They were good. Look how much more damage he did than everyone else here. He did 5. Second one is a 3. Well played. Well played, pen. Well played, pen. The reason I have made screenshots is because I enjoyed to play. I borrowed this guy's account a lot to PvP because I didn't enjoy. I was bored of warrior PvP, so I would borrow his mage to PvP. And he might actually be in the chat. He's been in the chat earlier today. That's like one of my good friends when I played. I'm just raiding a little bit because I died. Oh, this is hilarious. You guys know what this is, right? Look at it. I'm Total Biscuit from WoW Radio. I do not wish to join the guild, so don't worry about that. I'm wondering whether or not you would be interested in giving me... Oh, what the fuck happened? Interested in giving me a written statement for the show Epic tonight as regards to your stance on 25 on the 25-man announcement. I don't think I ever made one, but I think that's when he made that hilarious videos. You guys know who that is now, right? He's like super big on YouTube and all over the fucking world when it comes to gaming. But back then, I think he just started working with WoW Radio, and then it was like the beginning of his career or something. 10 years ago, something. Look, do you see how slack we were? Saturday 19. We'll go hardcore on 4 horsemen for the remaining days to try to get the world first. So we started fucking 19. That's what I'm telling you, man. Raiding back then. Raiding was more about skill back then than actually playtime. Oh, really, Jarl? I thought it was. Oh, I know he had. Oh, I know he had cancer, but I thought he beat it. I remember reading like that it was good news about it like a few months ago. Oh, that's fucking sad. Did it get worse then? That is really fucking sad. Man. I thought he was doing better. Ah, yesterday. Oh shit. Oh my god, poor guy. Fuck. I haven't followed like Twitter and stuff much the last 5 months, but before I had my streaming break, I remember it being like I remember retweeting and favoriting his post that he like it was going really well for him. That sucks. That sucks, man. It really fucking sucks. Mm. Poor guy, man. I think he has a wife and a kid and stuff as well. But let's not get depressed here. Let's not get depressed here. What is this? Oh, by the way, there was actually a bug on the Four Horsemen. One of the bosses, the one you usually took to the bottom right corner, he was spawning invisible pools for a long time on the boss. You would just... And they did so much damage on DPS that you would basically insta-die if you didn't move right away. And so if they were invisible, you were fucked. And there was super much drama in the guild, because every time someone died from a pool, they said it was invisible. Because it happened sometimes, but you know, when people fuck up, they don't wanna admit they fuck up. So everyone always said invis pool, and like I saw like one invis pool on me out of 30, but for some reason everyone had invis pools all the fucking time. Man, this boss was so fucking hard, man. Holy crap, the time we spent on this boss. This was probably the first boss in the game where really heavy theory crafting was involved, like really heavy ones. That like it was so complex that it took. I think Death and Taxes got the first kill, and it took them 2 months something. 2 months of tries, which is brutal. Like I don't think there has ever been a boss that took that long in the last 5 years. Oh, and it was also the first time. You see, we were using bigwigs here. You basically had to. It was the first time we used like a raid announcer as well, as you can see on the screenshots. That's how hard the boss was. We even had to fucking get bigwigs. But it was probably in the very early days of bigwigs. Like you basically had to fucking put these things in by yourself. We usually had one. I think we had one guy in the guild that was pretty good at these things. He was named Collie. Not sure if he was still with us in Nax though. Oh yeah, the kill.
Yes, cows, many.
But however, I think I'm not sure if other guilds did this or if it was only like I talked about it before. Like I always had free action potions, swiftness potions, where no one else ever had these kind of things usually. But on this boss, tank movement was very important. But in our everyone in our guild was at least forced to have swiftness potions on this boss as a tank. I'm not sure if they did that in other guilds. And we also killed like there was a boss in TBC. We got world first on very early because of one of these potions as well. I figured out you could use the potion on the boss, and that's why we killed him very easily, which was Gruul. Gruul was that boss. Am I looking forward to Legion? I always love World of Warcraft expansions. I mean, it's fun. I know it's only gonna be fun for 1, probably 2 months, maybe 3, maybe 4. But I mean, it's gonna be fun while you have all the new content, kill some bosses. But at some point, you will run out of things to do, and then you get bored again, and then you wait for the next expansion. It's usually what happens to me, at least in World of Warcraft these days. Fun for a bit, but not that long. Unless something magical happens with Legion, but I don't think so, man. Probably not gonna happen. I don't want to get my hopes up. I'll just expect 2-3 months of fun. Berlin. Oh yeah, this is at one point. I'm not sure why the screenshot came up now, but at one point, everyone in our guild, like we ran out of things to do. We didn't even have anything to do outside raids, so we started a guild on one of the Alliance servers called Minilum. And we were actually planning on becoming a top Alliance guild as well. So we wanted to be the top Horde guild and have a top Alliance guild. And everyone in the guild had to play gnomes and dwarves. So everyone played the small races besides this fucking guy, because we needed like 2 druids, and druids can't be gnomes and dwarves. So Marilyn and like someone else had to play druid. I think otherwise I think gnomes and dwarf covered all the classes. But sadly we gave up. I was like level 50 something, maybe 40, I don't know. Maybe we give up around here. I don't remember exactly. Yeah. And I played I was gonna be a paladin tank or something. I got a $3 donation from Beta to Alpha. How do I become Alpha like you and take up guild leadership to make shit happen? I don't know, man. Just I don't know. It's hard to answer that question. I think it's inbuilt in my personality a little bit, but it's mostly because I really like when I played WoW. Like my goal was always to be the best. You know, I only usually when I play video games, I want to be really good at the game. I want to become, if not the best, like at least in the top 1% or whatever. So I just try really hard until I reach that goal. And usually when I reach that goal, that's when I usually get bored and wants to do something else and become good at that. So I try to, like, most people start to enjoy things a lot when they become really good at something. I usually get bored when I become really good at something, because then I've already know the thing and I want to do something else. Which is a bad thing in my personality. It's not a good thing to get bored every time you become successful at something. It's a bad thing, but what can you do? I'm an ENFP, if people know what that is. Myers-Briggs ENFP. If you're interested about